in a bit of a frustrating game, really. Also, when the lineup came out, I think everyone expected it to be a 4-3-3. Everyone got very excited about the lineup, including me. I thought he probably picked the best out-and-out 11 he could have without, obviously, Semedo and Jimenez's injury. But I think you could tell after a minute or two it was a 5 at the back. Like, I tweeted out about at half-time about Nathan Collins, and someone said to me on Twitter it wasn't a back 5, it was a back 4. Maybe I'm just watching the game wrong, but to me that was a pretty blatant back 5. Every time Tottenham got the ball, you looked up and it was a flat back 5 with Neto at wing back. One thing I will say about that is I don't think we will ever play this formation again. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me that formation was just... We all know how Bruno tries to adapt to each team, unlike Nuno, played the same formation every single game. I don't think this will ever happen again. I think with Semedo back, obviously played a bit more today, same with Jimenez. I think against Newcastle we will see a 4-3-3 with Semedo and Jimenez back in, and then we'll kind of see a full strength 11, right? But I think Bruno looked at what he had available to him and the way Tottenham play and thought, you know what, we'll match them up, we'll try and outrun them in midfield and hope Neto can kind of win his individual duel against Perisic, which he kind of did, to be fair. I don't think Pedro Neto had a bad game considering the role he was in, but I think there were positives from the game. It's still very early on in the season. I don't think everyone knows we need a striker, everyone knows we need Jimenez back, etc. But I think there were more positives from this game than the other two. Jose Sá looks kind of back to his best. His distribution was great. Nathan Collins had a dodgy last 10 minutes and we kept getting countered. Richarlison done him a couple of times, but overall I thought he had a really good game. And, when obviously Conor Cody left, a lot of people were saying, we can't play a back three anymore now we don't have Conor Cody. Nathan Collins was very good in the middle of back three. His distribution was good. He always brought the ball forward. He never gave the ball away. He was pretty good in the air, considering he was playing as a good front three. That was a positive. Johnny had his best game of the season because he's been woeful so far. Thought Nuri had his best game as well. Kilman was solid as ever. Thought Neves was brilliant. I really like Neves at the base of a midfield three, whether it's in a 5 or a 4. I think it's his best position. I never understood why in the summer when we were linked with Paulinho and stuff, why everyone constantly kept saying, we need to move Ruben Neves forward. It's not his position. He's a defensive midfielder. I don't know how people don't see it. Moutinho's okay. It's obviously good to have him back. I understand why he took Moutinho off for Dendoncker, because he's only just come back and you can't really risk an injury, but I don't think it's a coincidence as soon as Dendoncker came on we dropped off a bit. And I'm not blaming it on him, by the way. It's just a different profile, and I don't think it really worked. Nunes had an okay game. It wasn't like the incredible debut everyone expected. I thought he was a solid 7-8 out of 10 performance, but considering he's only been in the country for 2 days and he's away at Tottenham, kind of chucked in the deep end, if that's going to be like a decent level Nunes performance, I think we've got ourselves a very good player. And then obviously Guedes dropped off in the second half before he had a good half. Daniel Ped's I know Daniel Ped's the only guy we've had score a goal for us, but I think he's had a pretty poor start to the season, but it's not really his fault. But also this is the third game in a row where Wolves haven't put up 1 XG, and that is concerning. Obviously there are factors in each game. Tottenham are a really good side. Leeds, we barely had a bench, and Fulham was at home against a team playing a deep block. So there are factors in it, and I'm not going to start freaking out yet. Jimenez is back, Moutinho's back, Semedo's back. I guess you could say Hwang and Adama are back, although Adama was crap. Hwang wasn't really on for long enough. Well, not Adama was crap. He beat a couple of men, but his crosses were terrible, and his first touch is still woeful. But look, there are positives in that game. We're getting our squad back, and I wouldn't really start freaking out yet about... Of course we need a goal scorer, and of course there are things that need to work, but considering we're away from home against a very good Tottenham side, I know they were shit in the first half, but I wouldn't start freaking out yet. The next 3 games will kind of define it for us. Bournemouth, Southampton, Newcastle, I think are our next 3. We've got basically our whole squad back now. Everyone's got some games in them, and I think we're going to move to a 4-3-3. I'll judge this Wolves side not on this weird back 5 we did to stop Tottenham, or a Leeds side where we had no bench. I'll judge this Wolves side and Bruno on the next 3 games. Newcastle's a winnable game at home. Is it Bournemouth away and Southampton at home? They're all winnable games, where we need at least, at worst, 5 points, probably 6. But there were positives to take from that game overall. And when Wolves get that squad back and bring in a number 9, you feel like we're in the right direction. But it just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity because Tottenham was shite in that first half. But I'm not going to blame Guedes or Podence. They're just stuck up on their own against 3 pretty big centre-backs. It's not really what we've brought them to do, really. But if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video. And yeah, peace.